You're listening to Finding the Truth with Myke Hideous. Now, here's another interesting story. Black youth steals Girl Scouts donation money bag. You piece of shit.
Where did this
That's
happen?
another great thing. So you got these kids, these two girls that were standing outside of Walmart. I think it was Walmart, and a kid comes out, steals their money. Stealing has reached a new all-time low for certain types of thieves. And this POS ghetto punk got away with nearly $500 at a Walmart, as I said. And you know, it's just unbelievable how things like this happen. And I mean, I can understand if you have to steal something, but my goodness, you're going to steal a little kid's money that
Well, I
they're
mean,
for
$500 is
selling.
better than the $400 if you go to jail and you get
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Yeah. Steal this little girl's Girl Scout cookie money because fuck you. That's why.
Well, his needs
It's
were
just
greater
unbelievable.
than their needs. They're just saving up to go on a field trip to someplace educational.
Oh, the world is falling apart, my friends.
Well,
Falling
it goes
apart.
back to one of our other shows, honestly, Myke, where we were talking about the lack of morals in our society. It's astonishing how things have degraded to such a degree where people are just cool with the idea, like, they can scam one another or steal from one another. And,
And
this is
it's
something
more so
how I'm
now.
deserved.
It's more so now because we have a government who just says, "Oh, it's okay. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it."
the legal system's failing us now. The
Mm-hmm.
prosecutors aren't even putting this stuff, they're not getting punished for their crimes. So what's to
Exactly.
stop them from
The
doing their
point in
crimes?
case a guy shoots a cop 26 times in and out of jail.
Yeah.
Anywho,
And will
let's
he
move
stay in
on.
jail? Will he stay in jail? There's the
Of course
question.
not.
We'll have to see.
Not with an
This is only day
administration like
one.
they have in New York City,
Right.
with the moron of a mayor that they have in New York City. But
Eric
moving on
Adams.
from that, let's talk about something right here in my home state of Pennsylvania. All right, Pittsburgh. Let's talk about Pittsburgh. Maybe you heard about this. Pittsburgh Police will no longer be responding to certain emergency calls from victims, including theft, harassment, burglary, etc. Basically, if you're not shot, if you're not shot or being held at gunpoint, fuck you. So here you go. Basically, people people in Pittsburgh. Here's my suggestion to you: buy a gun with ammo, and get ready because the purge is coming to your town. These emergency calls will now be handled by an enhanced telephone reporting unit. That means victims will call in during. Okay, so in other words, you got a thief who's in your garage and you're watching him from your window, and he's stealing your bike, the extra TV you got. I don't know, maybe some furniture, whatever. And you're on the phone with the Pittsburgh Police, and let's say it's 4 o'clock in the morning. All right, so remember that time. And you're on the phone with them, and basically they tell you, well, you don't even speak to anybody because you would be leaving a message on a voicemail, um, on an answering machine, and officers will not be responding unless it is what they consider to be an emergency. And between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., there will not be any police working at any of the 6 police stations within the city. Nice going, Pittsburgh. Really, really spectacular. I honestly, I swear politics is absolutely retarded.
I would be, if I happen to live in Pittsburgh, I would be so looking for getting a U-Haul and getting my ass out of there. I mean, how can you have a city that large and not have a police force that can respond quickly to
6
domestic
of them.
violence to robberies to murders, gang activity. I
I
mean,
mean,
generally,
could
don't cops investigate crime and try and? I mean, isn't that their job?
not
And
in
why are we
Pittsburgh.
stopping them from doing it?
Not in
What?
Pittsburgh, apparently. But I mean, think about it. From 3 to 7 a.m., if you have a situation, you've got a call. And again, if it's murder, let's say it's murder. So you call up, hello, hello, click, 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 hello, a voicemail, hello. The number you have reached is the police. Please leave a number where we can contact you and get back to you for your murder and let you know what we can do. But we can't do anything right now because we're not here. Calls like that would probably be sent out to the next town or county where there would be a policeman working, and then they'd have to drive to the murder scene. If it's just a simple theft or burglary or harassment charge or something in which you're not actually physically harmed or anything was physically stolen from you, or shall I say, you weren't harmed, but things were stolen from you, that would be a case in which they decide whether or not it's an important call to take or not. Absolutely
So,
insane.
so they are the arbiter of whether or not it's worth their time.
Apparently. Apparently.
And so you have to be very convincing on the phone. Whatever it is you have to report, you really have to sell it. Get their attention.
Yeah, you got to sell it. You're like a salesman here.
Yeah. What? A kidnapping? Tell me more. What about your kidnapping? Like, well, they're getting away. Could you get here faster? No.
Sorry, we're on break.
Yeah. Did you
But
get a license number?
like I said earlier, the one thing I love about Pennsylvania is that you can get a weapon, and even if you get a pistol, you can open carry, which means as long as you're carrying it where it can be seen, you're allowed to carry it without a carry conceal permit, which I have. I can carry a weapon on me hidden, but you got to be a respectable citizen to get that sort of a permit. My point
So how did
is,
you get it?
I know, right?
You walked right
The
into
point
that
is
one,
this.
man, dude.
The point is this: you can get a shotgun, you can get an AR-15, and I would recommend those probably over a pistol, because if you're in your home, one of the best burglar alarms there possibly is this noise. That sends burglars running. And you know what that was, right?
It's a thumbs up.
Fucking thumbs up. Stupid thing. But you know what that is, right?
That's the sound of the Keurig coffee machine when you put in the pod, right?
Right. That's right. They're going to run like hell towards you and be like, I'll take a cup. 2 lumps of sugar, please. No, but basically a shotgun. You don't even have to have good aim.
And that
You
would be
just
a pump action, I do believe you're actually demonstrating. Yes.
Pump action, 12 gauge, which is what I got. Point that sucker in the general vicinity of the piece of shit scumbag thief or robber or murderer or whatever, rapist. You point it in their direction and pull trigger and bang. Big hole. Messy.
You
but
mean
big
around
hole.
them, right? It wouldn't hit them. It'd just be a spray that would make a hole around them.
Probably. You'd probably have to get a bucket with a sponge after that. But all I'm saying is
How about a
Pittsburgh,
mop?
you
I don't
better.
want to get that close.
Right. Pittsburgh, I wish you well. And
That's for sure. I hope they have a lot
mm,
of webcams in all the city streets so we can watch the mayhem.
oh, it's going to happen. And I heard another story on the Russell Brand show, which I am actually a subscriber to. And Professor Z, before we did the show, Professor Z told me that this is an old story. So I'm going to just make a quick mention of it because
2
I found it
weeks old.
interesting.
I mean, it really
2 weeks
depends on
old.
how fresh you like your news.
Well, all right. So, but it does sort of fall into the whole
Sure.
crime thing.
Most
So Russell
definitely, because
Brand
it's horrible.
Russell Brand said on his show, New York City is placing the National Guard in the city's subway stations because crime has gotten out of control in New York in order to keep pedestrians safe. Uh, since there's been a huge influx of crime and attacks against subway riders, including theft, muggings, violence, and murder. I've seen the people getting pushed onto the fucking tracks.
Just
Um,
today, somebody got murdered. They were
really?
pushed in front of a train today. Yes,
Oh my
somebody
god!
was killed. The last
Oh
few
my
instances I've heard about, people like were able to roll out of the way or somehow the train went over them, but this person got annihilated because they got pushed in front of a train, a
oh my
subway
god! Did
train.
they catch the guy?
No, I don't think so.
Of course. Well, I hope he dies of the worst plague. I hope he gets a flesh eating disease, and I hope it starts right in his eye and just eats its way through his brain, out of his ear, and then goes down through his intestines to his genitals and eats them. That's what I hope happens to this piece of shit. Do I sound angry?
Just a little bit. But don't hold back, Myke. You really should let it out here. This is your opportunity
If
to express
if I
yourself.
don't, my blood pressure just gets high. I gotta let it out because these fucking people, I can't stand
Do
them.
it. Let it out.
So, all right. So here we go. So Russell Brand comments on this action, uh, having been negative, as he believes this action of sending in the National Guard is overstretching, quote, overstretching the limits. I'm sorry, quote, overstretching the city's limitations by attempting to protect the people from the overwhelming amount of crime that has incurred over the last 3 years, unquote. So, frankly, I believe he's completely wrong. And I'm sure you would agree with me too, Professor. Um, New York City, if New York City hadn't cut the police budget in 2020 and to appease BLM and the leftists' agenda, to the so-called police racism that was allegedly going on and the brutality of the police, maybe the country wouldn't be so affected by this massive crime wave as a direct result by the leftists and their left Democrat liberal politicians, socialist
Well,
politicians.
and
So,
you're right, Myke, but I have to point out the truth is it goes deeper than that. Because
and
the
what would that
reality
be?
is that not only is the police been handicapped, to say the least, or restrained, the police in
Yeah,
New York City don't
defund
even
the
carry,
police. Defund
I
the
know,
police.
defunding the police, they don't even carry billy clubs anymore in New York City.
Oh, are
But
you kidding?
here's the bigger picture: is the fact that
Fucking
Andrew
unbelievable.
Cuomo, who is
Andro?
the Andro,
Android?
yes, that you can call him that maybe, but I mean he never mind. Anyway,
I used
Cuomo.
to like that guy because he was Italian. Now he can go suck an egg.
I'm not sure whether or not your ethnicity is something that you should like somebody for, but anyway, let's
Well,
get
come
beyond
on.
that
Let's
point.
be realistic, okay?
Hey,
When
I'm an
when
American
Obama
mutt. I
ran
love
when
everybody.
Obama ran for president, the more, how would I put this? More black people came out to vote for him because he was black than
I
any
get
other
it.
ethnicity before. So yeah, of
I
course,
get it.
Italians are going to like Italians, Chinese are going to like Chinese, Russians are going to like Russians, and so
Right.
on.
In 1960, all the women saw, JFK on television and said, "Damn, he's hot compared to Nixon," and they voted for his ass. And so
Right.
therefore we got that. Anyway,
Just
I
like
know
that
how it
dumb
goes.
Yenta, just
I
like that
know it.
dumb Yenta on The View who said she would vote for what's his name in California, the governor, Gavin Newsom,
Yes.
because quote, because he looks good. That's why she would
There you
fucking confetti. Really? How about this? Can you respond to this?
No,
No.
there's no response to that one. Well,
Fucking
there is,
unbelievable.
but not on this camera. In either
Anyway,
case,
so she
so
was going
getting
to
back
vote
to it,
for Gavin Newsom because he looks good.
right.
Stupid Yenta.
And so that's again where people aren't, they're low information voters and they're voting based on whatever their whims are. But I want to get back to the story about the NYC subways. because part of the story is the fact that not only was it the National Guard that was sent in the subways, but it was also the state police. And the fact that they had, she felt compelled to do that is again a reflection of the fact of what the bigger problem is getting back to Andrew Cuomo. Thank you for taking me off topic. Is he signed into law the fact that basically there was going to be a catch and release. So I'm sorry, I think, yeah, it was catch and release. So essentially there's no bail in New York City or in New York State. So
Isn't
if
that
you
awesome?
get grabbed for, stealing $1,000 worth of stuff, you're released back on the streets that day with no bail. And so they literally have a rotating list of somewhere around 3,000 criminals that are constantly doing these same crimes, or doing them over and over again. And the police are literally handicapped to do anything about it but
No
capture
kidding.
them, take them back to the station, and let them go again, because the
Yeah.
prosecutors are not going to do their job. They're
Just
wasting their
like,
time going after Trump because he's a billionaire,
oh,
rather than
yeah.
going after these guys on the street that are making everybody's lives miserable.
Just like the pieces of shit, I think it was 7 illegal aliens who beat up the cops in the subway,
Yep.
arrested that day, uh,
And that was.
not not put in jail, no bail, let go the same day,
Mhm.
give the double middle finger as they're walking out to the cameras, jump on a bus, and now they're in California.
And
Very
that is
good,
another
sweetheart.
thing that
Very
you can
good.
thank Andrew Cuomo for, because he also
Right,
signed into the fact
right.
that when the police pick up somebody who is an illegal immigrant, they are not going to call ICE. They were not going to cooperate with ICE. So here's another example in going back to Lake and Riley. Lake and Riley would be alive today if the New York City Police Department, when they picked up that scumbag, actually
Mm-hmm.
called ICE and had him sent over to ICE, and he could have made him deported someplace.
Exactly. But oh no,
You
you
know,
can't do that because that would be racist.
well, sure, right, but letting Laken die was a good thing. No, it wasn't. It was horrible, and it's a direct result of all these stupid policies that
I I
somehow
gotta
the left
say,
are embracing.
yeah, I gotta say, if you are a Democrat and you vote, let, let me start that again. If you're a Democrat and you disagree with, I should say, you agree with everything we just talked about on how this policy is immoral and incorrect and irrational, illogical, need to go on. If you think like we do, why are you voting Democrat?